They Shall Not Grow Old. This is a 2018 documentary film directed by Peter Jackson, centering on World War I. World War I, or as you may have heard, the war to end all wars, right? The fascinating thing about this film is all the footage that you see has been totally transformed thanks to state-of-the-art technology into absolutely incredible footage. So what you would have seen back in the day, the older looking, outdated, aged footage now looks absolutely incredible for the time period for which it was captured. The technology that these filmmakers use to bring this to life is incredible, no doubt about it. The film itself, I think it's good. I'm going to say this right now, it is not for everybody. If you're not a history fan, if you're not a World War I or just a war fan in general, you're probably going to have a really hard time sitting through this. Because it's a 2+ hour movie dealing with the entire history of World War I. Now, having said that, if you're into this stuff, I don't see how you can watch the movie and not like it. I mean, even those who aren't history fans, it's definitely respectable what these filmmakers have been able to do to present this to us. I mean, you are literally getting a series of events all laid out, easy to follow, amazing visuals. And the thing I love most about this story, it's told by the soldiers themselves. They are the narrator. They are the star of the film. It's not experts. It's not historians. It's the men who lived it, telling the story, telling their experience. And you can't help but take your hat off and salute these people. It's fascinating. Now, having said all that, when I saw the trailer, when I saw it advertised, I thought it would be a variety of different countries getting to share their stories. That's not the case. All it is the British. I think they need to say that up front, that this is only focusing on the British soldiers. No Americans, no Germans, no French, none of that. You're just seeing it from the British point of view. I understand Peter Jackson's reasoning, as he said the reason we're doing that is because that's the footage we were provided. That was the voices we were provided from those British soldiers. And I felt like it would just be too much to try and show all this footage and all these stories from the various countries. You would get the general idea. Pretty much all these guys are thinking the same thing, regardless of what army or what country they're involved with. I understand that. I get that. At the same time, during the story, when they capture some German prisoners, they talk about how the Germans felt so defeated and so bent out of shape and ready for this thing to be over. So it's clearly showing, well, their mindset isn't exactly the same as the English at this point in time. And I'm just going to say it. I'm an American. Of course, I want to see the American point of view at some point in this movie. I want to see what those guys thought. I would like to hear what the enemy was saying and thinking. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I understand why they went the route they went. As far as the violence and adult material, there is definitely moments and things that are discussed. It's not for children by any means. At some point, though, I think it would benefit everybody to see this film, though, so you can see what went on and what happened. But definitely some themes that are not kid-friendly. A few examples would be talking about the dead bodies, showing these corpses, what it was like to smell them, bury them. There would be moments where they would talk about the men having to defecate, and you're seeing that action. So, like I said, it's not for everybody, but you really have an appreciation for what these men went through. Another thing that I like about the film is it really does a good job of showing how the war transitioned, the technology used in that time. It's kind of the old school meeting what would become the new school technology. So you still see the horses being used. You see a lot of those techniques back in the 1800s. But you also see how the technology is catching up where, all right, we can use airplanes and all these high-powered weapons that you would later see in World War II and wars to follow. So I enjoyed seeing kind of the mixing of that. Here's the past meeting the future. It was interesting for me to see. So if I have to rate this movie, I would give it a 7.5. It's not exactly what I thought it would be. Some of that stuff is difficult to sit through and watch. I'm not going to lie. That's my opinion. Now others may have no problem sitting through all that. It was a good film. As Peter Jackson stated, this was a movie made by a non-historian for non-historians. And I think that's well said. But I feel like people who were really into the history, especially the World War I history, they're going to like this even as historians because the people telling the story are the actual soldiers. And at the end of the day, I think that's what makes the film. Hearing the men who were there share their experience and seeing it brought to life by this state-of-the-art technology, it really makes it a lot more fun to watch. I will say this, when you start the film, you're probably going to be sitting there going, all right, when does the good-looking stuff happen? This all looks like that really old footage that I'm used to seeing. Just be patient with it. It will happen. They kind of build you up and lead you into it. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this review helps in your decision making. If you have seen the film, leave me some comments. Let me know your thoughts. Big thanks to my subscribers. If you have not subscribed, would love to have your support. Click that subscribe button if you like what you see. And we will see you guys next time.